This is the miter saw station I built in my garage workshop. I built the left side of the miter saw station long enough so that I can cut 8-foot lengths without hitting the stairs that goes into the main house from the garage. I had a few old 2x6s in my garage that I ripped down to 2.5 inches to use as the frame of the work surface. I planed down all the boards to 1.25 inches thick, and I cut all the ends of each of the cross braces to accept a half-lap joint, which were then glued and screwed together using 1-inch screws. I used the depth stop on my miter saw to cut out half the depth from the front and back frame pieces. I cut both the front and back pieces at the same time, but I had to recut the piece that was along the fence to properly cut out the curvature of the blade that remained in the piece. Here's the frame assembled using the half-lap joints. I attached a few of the offcuts to the wall to act as a ledger for attaching the tabletop, and I used temporary supports to hold up the front side of the frame. Using a masonry bit and the hammer setting on my drill, I drilled 6 holes to the foundation wall to secure a 2x4 to the wall in order to support my angled legs. I secured the 2x4 using masonry bolts, which were then screwed in. I measured and pre-cut my angled legs with a bird's mouth opening at the bottom, which rests on the 2x4 that is secured to the foundation wall. I then pre-drilled and secured each leg to the bench top using 3-inch decking screws before securing it to the bottom ledger. This is what it looks like all framed up. I didn't want the obstruction of vertical legs, and I really like how this design turned out. Here you can easily see how the bird's mouth rests on the 2x4 ledger. This bench isn't going anywhere. I used leftover 5/8 inch construction plywood to laminate the top of the workbench. I pre-drilled and countersunk 1.25 inch screws to secure the plywood to the frame. And to make it look nicer, I added a 1/4 inch masonite hardboard over the plywood and countersunk and secured that to the plywood using 3/4 inch screws. Overall, I'm happy with the way it turned out. The miter saw sits about 4 inches lower than the work surface so that the wood will rest flat on the bench when cross-cutting. I will be attaching a skirt along the front edge of the bench to cover up the plywood layers and the frame, and to protect the front edge from damage. I do have plans to add another 4-foot bench on the right side of the miter saw, but I need to move my garden hose first before it can be extended. I'm new to YouTube, so please subscribe to my channel for regular woodworking projects.